All right, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is April 3rd, 2022. I am your host, Luis Palacio, with my co-host, Chris.
Hey, it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. And how are you doing, Luis?
Well, I just ate literally this big side ass of chocolate, so I don't know if I'll be doing good in the next few hours. Like a chocolate bar, but it was I don't know, like 2 inches. So it's like, okay, you know what? Let the stomach begin, you know? But yeah, I'm doing all right. How you been, my brother?
It's been a good week. A lot of fun, actually. The events have been pretty good. I'm definitely looking forward to talking about this week, though.
Oh, yeah. There is definitely some interesting news and a lot of good stuff to talk about this week for sure. So how about we get right into it, Chris? Let's talk about some recaps. Actually, before we do, we're here once again to talk about Pokemon Go news, updates, and ranting about the game because we love the game just as much as you do. Let's not forget to remind everybody we are part of the Professor Network. Check us out, professornetwork.com/Purified Podcast. Wonderful people to work with every single time. Keep purifying them. Thank you very much, Cam, for actually getting that last little piece there. Oh my God, I love you. Awesome. But yeah, so all right. Let's get into some hauls of the week. Recaps Chinese Hondo's PvP months. Let's go, Chris.
All right. I'm assuming I'm going first.
Don't you always?
Yeah. They save the Hondos for last usually.
Oh, always.
But I actually did kind of get a Hondo this week. I don't know if I'm gonna purify it. But I think it was literally like the last shadow I got. Oh, second to last. I got a 13-13-15 Shadow Execute.
Ooh.
So I can purify it and get a Hondo, but I don't know if I'm going to be honest.
Do I have to go after literally almost... how many years have we been doing this already? I don't remember this way. Over 100 episodes, and I still tell you to purify your Hondos.
Yeah, it is the Purified podcast.
I know we're we're kind of the yin and yang of the Purified podcast. You keep them shadows, I purify them.
Yeah, you're trying to lead me to the good side.
Something like that. There's always a little bit of good in the dark side, so you know.
Yeah, it's not always black and white. But for shinies, I got 2 this week, and I feel like A Drive because I got 2 bugs. The first one I got, there was only one of this Pokemon that spawned at a park. It was literally, as I'm walking back to my car, it just happened to spawn on top of me. A shiny Scyther.
Ooh.
Literally the only one that spawned at the park. So I was very excited to get another one of those. I know it's fairly common shiny. But, whenever we get a new one, that's always fun, especially with Cleavor. Eventually going to come to Pokemon Go.
Right.
And then I got a new shiny for me. I believe I got it at my house. It might have been at work. But I got a shiny Ladybug. And yeah, I didn't have that one yet. So I was very, very excited for that. But other than that, I think for PvP Pokemon, I got a really good Shadow Squirtle, 0-15-15. It is not a rank 1. A lot of the starters have really weird PvP breakpoints.
All right.
But I'm probably gonna keep it a Shadow.
But I mean, even having a 0-15-15 is good in some ways.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got a really good Alolan Rattata Shadow. And he can be very unique. Either with quick attack or bite, so I'm very excited for that. Other than that, though, I'm not sure. I'm pretty excited for a lot of my catches, though.
Yeah.
What do you get, sir?
All right, let's check out the shiny hunts and see what I got. I actually got 3 shinies this week. Starting off with the Ditto that everybody's looking for. So another shiny Ditto for me to add to the collection.
Nice.
I get a Natu same day, same event, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And I pushed Yena when I was at work the last Saturday, so I gotta hand it to the random shinies at work as always. As for Hondos, let me check. I don't know if I got any good Hondos there. I did say about the Tapu Lele, right? Yeah, you guys knew about that Tapu Lele.
Yeah.
I did actually get a Hondo Caterpie from one of the research from one of the events. So
Bug week, man.
Back week-ish there. So yeah, I got the Hondo. It's actually my very first Hondo Caterpie out of 6 years.
What?
Yeah, I think I don't actually have any other Caterpie yet. I have Beedrill, but Caterpie has always eluded me, I guess. I don't know. I never really thought about it until I got one. I was like, okay, I mean, I'm not going to complain.
That's interesting.
Especially, because if Gigantamax Butterfree comes in, that's my beast.
Yeah, funny enough, I don't think I have a Hondo Butterfree either.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many Pokemon that we have tried to get Hondos of, but we never really get because, we play the game for 6 years. The whole event or the whole IV spread wasn't really compatible with Go for the first year. And then the whole IB spread that we got the change after GOFest of 2019 was non-existent until then. So it was a hard way to get Hondos because you didn't want to actually check all your catches for the week. So
It was annoying. I actually mixed up in the beginning days just because you had to read it. And I feel like I might have trashed a few Hondos.
Oh, yeah. I can remember, because I usually run the Gold Plus, even at work. Whenever I had time to purge, I didn't go through any one of them. I just, trashed them all, unless it was something that I wanted to keep. So now, for a fact, I'd probably trade or transfer a few Hondos out there for that reason. So, rip Arene, no, when it comes down to it. But either how, that's our hauls for this week. Not too shabby as a whole. Nice and little nice for the events. Well, we technically have to recap this because it was part of the event. Unfortunately, it was a one-day event, and that's what we talk about it. So we knew our April Fool's 2022 event. Nothing normal comes this way. And I gotta hand it to Niantic and the Pokemon Go company. Niantic technically. They went ham on this event. They were going all over the place when it came down to this event. Twitter was blowing up with all their tweets. But, it's just like we thought it was Ditto and trainers. Ditto, the transforming Pokemon is to claim with the special research starting on April 1st and ending that same day. So as long as you log in and actually get the research, you're actually able to do it. So it's not too bad. A Ditto change up. Ditto will be appearing more frequently in the wild, of course, from these forms. We had Pokemons like Ekans, Ghastly, Natu, Surskit, Finneon, Doable, and Swirlix spawning with the Ditto chance. There was a small little, technically community day for this from 5 to 8, where Ditto was basically every almost transforming Pokemon that you see. You can still get the other Pokemons, but it was literally almost Ditto itself. That's why I got the Ditto. That's why I got the Natu, and they were both Gold Pluses, surprisingly. And we had some stickers, which is actually one of the coolest stickers I've seen. I really like the Ditto transforming into the birds of the emblems.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I wanted. I think I have some right now, so let me see if I can find them. But yeah, so far not too shabby. That event was actually fun, especially because everybody was just going. Yeah, I have a chunk of them, at least 3 of each. So. Good enough. That's the first time I actually care about stickers too. But anyhow, it was one a day event. Nothing too shabby about that. Ditto was spawning in without the boosted odds in other times of the day, but it started at midnight and then ended before midnight. So it is what it is. A 24-hour event for that reason.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And then after that, of course, we ended the Lush Lango event. We already gave our ratings in the last podcast, so there's really not much to talk about there. But we do have some news in today's research topics of the week. And we got some very good news. Chris, what is the very first thing we're going to talk about today?
Well, I heard you like mudkips.
I knew you were going to make that joke. I knew you were going to make
that. Maybe. I know a lot of people liked one of the last community days we had, the Community Day Classic. So we're going to have another one coming up. Niantic is excited to bring back Memories of Mudkip. We're going to get Mudkip Community Day again. Very good competitively. It's a fan favorite starter. As starters usually are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, personally, I'm very excited. I'm sure you're excited. Get your shoes on. We're going to be catching these boys.
Well, this event starts on Sunday, April 10th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. And of course, Community Day Mudkip will be upon us literally this coming weekend. So by the time you hear that us in the next podcast will have this. Just like Chris has mentioned, Mudkip is a competitive Pokemon in all 3 leagues in some way, shape, or form. You do have to have his Community Day move for it to be viable. You can try other moves, but there's not as the same as powerful as others. Even in Master League, you never know until you actually use it. But
yeah,
of course, it will have its Community Day move Hydro Cannon when you evolve it. We do have this special research story Mudkip Community Day Classic, which they never try to even give us a title for this, so too bad for them, I guess. We do have the event bonuses of 3-time cash experience. Lore modules and instances will be activated will be 3 hours, and then snapshots, of course, it would mean Mudkip. We do have an event bundle of 850 Pokecoins, which is a reduced amount of Pokecoins from this time for 15 Ultra Balls, 15 Pineapple Berries, 1 Elite Fast TM, and 1 Remote Raid Pass. And then, of course, the 30 Ultra Balls. Now, let me talk about that bundle. It's not worth it. It's not damn worth it.
Yeah, the whole value, honestly, is in the Elite Fast TM, and even that's kind of iffy.
Yeah, you were getting a Pokemon that needs a a charge Elite TM, and then we're getting 2 Elite TMs for both Community Days. So I don't know. Niantic just doesn't know how to plan things out when it comes down to it. But again, this Community Day Classic, because Mudkip has been a very viable Pokemon, it is something that we wanted, we needed, especially for newer players out there that never had the chance to actually get a Mudkip with its Community Day moves. I'm all loving it, definitely, because at that point, we'd never really care about PvP IVs during the time. I mean, some of us maybe, but I don't even remember when was the last Community Day for Mudkip.
It had to be one of the Decembers, technically. If we're talking, getting Hydro Cannon, I would highly recommend keeping an eye out for your Shadow Mudkips and Marsh Stomps to evolve. Because the Shadow version, almost for any Pokemon is going to be getting more shields than the normal version. So, if you haven't gotten a Shadow Swampert already for every league, I'd definitely try to, if you have one good to go with the charge TM already off of it, I'd highly recommend getting that one ready.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you definitely gotta watch out for. So I don't know if Mudkip is actually like spawning in regular Rocket Stops right now. So whatever you got, it's probably better to actually do, especially because of what we're on right now. And I actually almost forgot until I thought about it. But we do have another event to talk about, definitely. We'll talk about it in just a moment because the news kind of piled up. Anyways, Mudkip Community Day. Be excited. Helpful, very good Pokemon, so keep an eye out on that. We'll see you guys out there from 2 to 5 if you are in the area. All right, next piece of news. We have some very exciting news right here, right now. Chris.
Well, oh yes, yeah, that is a lot of news. Mark your calendars for GOFest 2022. And it's finally not going to be in Chicago.
Well, it's been 2 years since then, so.
Yeah.
But the announcement of GOFest 2022 is upon us. So we do have our dates specifically for GOFest, but we're going to go over a few things and maybe reminisce of our past GoFest, of course. This will be, mark your calendars, because GoFest will have a 2-day global event on Saturday, June 4 to Sunday, June 5th, with a bonus of finale on event on a Saturday, August 27th. So you may think, why so many months into the future after we have our GoFest? Well, there's more. We're thrilled to announce that this summer we'll also be featured in-person GoFest events in the following locations. Friday, July 1st, 2022 to Sunday, July 3rd. It will be starting on Berlin, Germany. Friday, July 22 to Sunday, July 24 will be Seattle, Washington in the United States. Friday, August 5th to Sunday, August 7th, Sapporo, Japan. It's been nearly 3 years since the Pokemon GoFest 2019 was brought back to life in Dortmund, Chicago, and Yokohama, and we're excited to return to the roots of this annual event while we continue to host the global experience that millions of trainers have enjoyed. Whenever you're participating in global events or planning to join us in person, can't wait to celebrate together. Let's go. So, Chris, and everybody listening, we do have 2 different types of GoFest happening this year. For the people who can't actually make it to the in-person live events, we do have the GoFest that is globally for everybody to play. However, if you are going to any of the GoFest, well, actually, if you are going to the Seattle, Washington GoFest, Chris and I are now planning our tickets and places to stay because we are definitely gonna go to that GoFest. I got my tickets, Chris. My friend got my tickets, or well, your tickets. Well, so you better get to your tickets soon, brother.
Yeah. What do you know? What day you're flying in and out?
I'm flying in the Thursday before and flying out the Monday after. Just because if we are planning anything with the community or any of the other community leaders like the Lura podcast or any of the YouTubers out there, we want to make sure we get a little bit early intake to see how they're planning. We definitely will be, marking our advances of what we're going to be doing in the next few months coming this live event. But I mean, I got the tickets. I'm ready. I will not wait any longer. I'm sure we'll find either a hotel or a Airbnb close by, and hey, we'll be ready. We wanna go ahead and play it all. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's not that I didn't like Chicago. I was curious when they were gonna have one outside of Chicago, though.
So,
so I am very excited to go to a different city.
Oh yeah. So the differences was that I know, based on like contracts that Niantic had for the very few times, the very first 3 GoFests that they were planning for, of course, were Chicago. We all know how the first one went. The second one was a success, and the third one, of course, we were there, and luckily enough, it was an amazing experience. But however, that contract should have ended before the 2020 GoFest, and we should actually know where we were supposed to go by then. Of course, the world disappeared, but now we're here again. It is amazing. It is amazing. Now let's break it out a little bit. Now we know the 3 GoFests. Of course, we have the 3 dates. Chris and I were going to Seattle. We all know that. Now we do know that we have the remote play. Now I actually like this structure, for the reason that having the remote play will not incentivize other people to actually say, hey, we have to go ahead and play the live one too, for that reason. You will only be able, technically, we only be able to play that live event if you're in that city specifically. You get your tickets, you go to the place, you play the event, boom. That's what it is. That's how the community plays. However, having 2 extra days, technically 3 extra days of a GoFest event, for anybody to enjoy. Doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what you do. It's still amazing in its own regard, because it's like getting 3 different types of GoFest in one day, 1 year for us. But that means that you can still enjoy it with your other regular community out there. Plan out your wonderful days and then be ready to just play, because you're close by, you're in the city that you know, you love, and everything. And that's what I really love about this event, because you know that you can keep yourself from missing out from the other events that we're definitely going to be playing no matter what anyway. So we know that there's going to be a lot of surprises. Definitely that Saturday 27 will be an interesting bonus finale that they're mentioning. But we don't know all the full details just yet. This is just the dates. It is definitely months in advance, so you can plan out things ready. But yeah, exciting moments. Chris, any thoughts, things, everything?
Very excited to visit Washington. First time being in the state. I don't think. Yeah, we haven't seen too much on it yet. So when we get closer, we're going to be able to speculate on the Pokemon spawning more.
Yeah.
And giving our thoughts on that. But yeah, definitely going to buy my tickets within the next week. And looking forward to meeting some of you guys. Hit us up on Twitter if you guys are going, and maybe we can set up some trades, get some friendship going before then.
Yes.
Yeah. See you guys there.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we're not ending the podcast right now, so
No.
But yeah, so we'll keep an eye out for any more news or amazingness. There is one thing to note about this logo that shows some interesting flowers underneath the logo, which nice little pinky flowers at the back.
Yes.
So we can already speculate that the Pokemon that we're going to see is the mythical Pokemon Shaman, which kind of sucks because I kind of been looking for it in BDSP, so I guess it's kind of like for me.
You got time.
I got time, but we'll definitely get there. But yeah, super excited. Definitely more news to come, more things to go for, so get ready. The Go in Pokemon Go is back. I'm super excited to finally meet the community once again, see what people are doing. Hey, if you're out there, don't forget to say hi. Anyhow, let's get into other pieces of news since we're already here and things that are actually happening this week. We have a brand new Tingo Rocket event, which we kind of alluded in the news section on the April last week. We definitely feel like this is not the greatest rocket event that we actually seen.
Yeah, the last one was a lot better than this one.
Yeah. Well, All Hands Rocket Retreat is starting on Sunday, April 3rd, which was yesterday, to Thursday, April 7th, which is a couple of days from now. Another Tico Rocket takeover is happening. Spurred by the recent influx of Pokemon first round in the Alola region, Tico Rocket is feeling bolder than ever. This time, the villains are trying to prepare their upcoming company-wide Tingo Rocket Retreat.
Company-wide, I like that.
Oh my god. Well, there is a brand new Pokemon debuting into Pokemon Go this time, and that is Salazzle and Salandit, which will be available in 12km X. And you can get 50 candies to evolve the female Salazzle into Salazzle, or Salet into Salazzle. Before we move on to the next piece of part of the news here, let me tell you one thing about the rate of this damn Pokemon. First and foremost, let's check out my 12k eggs that I have incubating right now. So right now, Salandit is actually in the 12k eggs in the highest rarity of theater. So that means that it's even harder to hatch at this point. That was number one actually. Number two, Salado can only evolve by the female version of it. So if you get a male one, good luck ever trying to evolve it because you never will. And the third and most worst part of it is that it's not a 50-50 chance to get the male or female. It's actually a 12% chance to spawn in the female at this point. So you can look at the odds right now and tell me that this is probably the worst way to release a Pokemon ever. Don't even think about the shiny, because the shiny is never going to get released at this point. Never going to see a shiny in your life. But yeah, so this is a really hard Pokemon to obtain. So if you're lucky and you actually get a female and you're able to evolve it, let us know, because it's not going to be easy for any of the players out there. However, we do have a brand new legendary shadow Pokemon, Clutches of Giovanni. No, I almost said Niantic, but I guess Niantic too. The boss is back, and now Shadow Latios is in Esto. The new special research story will be available at the beginning of this event, and the progress is to get the Super Rock Arena and chase down Giovanni. Which, actually, if you're also doing your Apex Legend Lugia, your Apex Legend Masterwork research, you're gonna get another one eventually. So you'll have the chance to actually get two Shadow Latios in today, unless you want to save one out for, whatever comes out next. But, you're at least going to be able to get one in that regard. Any thoughts on Shadow Latias there, Chris?
So, it's not like the worst Pokemon. Having the dragon typing definitely helps it. It's going to be one of the Shadow Dragon Breath users for sure.
Mm-hmm.
While you can run it with the other quick move, I believe Psycho Cut, if you want to get faster charge moves off.
Right.
But I think Dragon Breath is going to be the consensus for a lot of people just for the overall damage output. We'll see. But honestly, I'm more excited for its brother, Latios, which, we can assume is going to be coming up very soon. But, it's going to be a good addition. I don't think it's as popular as Latias, and, all the Gen 1 Pokemon. So I don't think people are going to be as excited for it for sure. But when Latios comes around, I bet you a lot more people are going to be bragging about Hundos for that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, I do have my Hundo Latias from Raid, so it's not that I need this. If I get the Hundo Latios or Latias for a Shadow, that's staying a Hundo for sure. So, or a Shadow for that reason. Anyways, we do have brand new...
What?
I know,
No,
right?
I'm joking.
We do have brand new Shadow Pokemons with the lineups of the Tingle Rocket Grunts and, of course, the leaders, Sierra, Clift, and Arlo. Some additions to the Shadow line will be Shadow Alolan Rattata, Shadow Alolan Sandrew, Alolan Executor, Shadow Sudowoodo, Shadow Giraffere, and Shadow Nomo, interesting enough. Any particular ones that you're looking into this?
So, the three I'm really excited about are the Alolan Pokemon. While I do feel like Shadow Sudowoodo is going to have a place in the meta, I don't think it's going to be very high up. Like Sudowoodo on its own gets shields. Without shields, I do believe Shadow Sudowoodo can definitely one-shot basically anything. But obviously he's going to be taking that much more damage. Shadow Numel is very interesting to me. He's very similar to Macargo, but I don't believe he gets a rock quick move, obviously. But a lot of people like to meme on Numel and its evolution. Camera up. Thank you. But it's definitely going to be more scary as a Shadow, but I still don't think it's going to get much use. While Giraffrig has a very unique typing that I think is going to be fun, mostly for Sylph League.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be very meta changing.
All right. I mean, not too bad when it comes down to it. I do think that maybe a lot on Sandrew will actually see a little bit of play, a lot of play now that the Shadow form is released.
I do feel like we'll have to wait for the next community comm day at the end of the year, where they bring it back again with its new move.
Right.
So we need to prepare for that so we can give it Shadow Claw.
Well, I hope that we'll
even
have,
without it, it's going to be great.
Right. Well, I'm sure we'll have another retreat to be able to charge away the frustration on it if you don't get one good one before the end of this event, which is one of the bonuses, of course. You can have a Tingle Rocket
let me do
event.
That right now.
we can have a Tingle Rocket event without actually having the ability to TM frustration away. And of course, it has appearing more frequently in the wild. We do have some research encounters, which is actually pretty interesting to get to. One of them will be for Sneasel, which nobody wants at this point. The other one will be for Scraggy. And actually, I know that the actual research for that, and that is defeat a Tingle Rocket leader for the encounter of Scraggy. So not too shabby, but if you are doing the Master World research and the regular research, or special research, you'll be able to encounter many leaders in your adventure. As for the bundles, the special one-time purchase bundle will be available for 275 Pokecoins, featuring 10 Max Potions, 10 Max Revives, and 5 Rocket Radars. Don't buy this. like I sincerely say, do not buy this unless you're really desperate. But no, it's not worth the max potions that you're probably gonna trash, the max revives which we'll never use, and the 5 rocket raiders which only will give you the ability to get the new eggs at that point, if you have egg space.
Well, not even just that, but were you gonna mention what happened at the beginning of the event?
I was about to get to it actually.
Oh, okay.
So when this event went live in the APAC region, the special research actually rewarded 15 rocket raiders for the completion of that research, and people were going, "Holy Jesus!" Now we understood just by looking at it that this is another Niantic cat problem, because push the keyboard thing and then give somebody 15 researches. After the initial mistake from Niantic Cat, they patched that out pretty quickly. So us here in the United States, we didn't actually get the chance to get to that point. However, for that very small window, people who were able to actually finish up the part of the research to give you 15 rocket raiders were able to get all those 15 rocket raiders. So they're actually, they got stacked in a lot of ways. Which is good, because it's usually the other way around, like sometimes they get screwed over with whatever event is happening, and then we get the fixed version of the event. Now they get the screwed version, which is good for them, and then we get the fixed version, which is bad for us. Of course, the community is somewhat divided on this, saying that it should have just kept it the way it is, and things like that. It is what it is, guys. Don't kill the messenger. Kill the cat, please. But yeah, so kudos to anybody who actually was able to get the 15 rocket raiders for that. If you didn't, of course, too bad, so sad. You should have left. You should have lived in that side of the area at that point. But anyways, any thoughts on that, Chris?
I'm disappointed that they changed it. It makes me wonder, why not just keep it like that, like the whole way through? That way, certain people don't feel that we're getting cheated out of it, from the people that did get it. I mean, the fact that it was a mistake, it makes it, a little bit better in my opinion, rather than them just, changing things constantly, as they see fit. I do feel like they should have just left it the same, though. I'm kind of confused why they reverted it back to the amount that they did want it to be.
I guess there's two reasons that I can think of. One is because they don't want the research to be done super quickly. Like once you get those 15 rocket raiders, you can just finish up the special research. There's no differences. Like all you have to do is just find the leaders, and that's all there is to it. And once you find all 3, it's done for Shadow Latios. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessary. Like the grind to be able to get the raiders, it's nice to get free ones every now and then. But it's not, it's not the point where you actually have to go. If there was a mistake, it's a mistake. We understood that everybody, not everybody's perfect, not even Niantic, and we know that for a fact. But the advantage for the APEC, which they always get hammered with, bad connection, worse things, like the event starts, nothing happens, or things like that. It's just, give them a little bit of credit to what it is. Plus, it's not making it money to Niantic if they just go ahead and keep it that way, because they can just get to that point, get 15 rocket raiders, and somebody can just literally not have to waste rocket raiders for any type of form. Now, for us grinders, we don't actually buy them, but at the same time, we don't really need to buy them in that regard. So
yeah, unless there's like an insane shadow Pokemon in the wild that you can never find,
definitely
for the leaders. But yeah, no, we haven't run into that yet.
Yeah, so we also have the new lineup for Sierra, Arlo, and Cliff, which Arlo, I believe, has Execute. Sierra has Drowsy, I believe, and Cliff has What is that?
Oh shoot! Yeah, I don't remember Cliffs either.
um, I don't remember, but it was something that I
Was it
didn't want.
C-Dot? Oh my gosh, I'm tripping.
I don't think you see that. I don't think you see that. I don't think you see that. Let me check. Couple of Gaming probably already has all the information here, so give me a second to find it. Which I'll be surprised if it didn't.
Cubone.
Ha! Okay, no, never mind. This
Cubone.
this is the worst. This is the worst lineup that the readers have had in a long, long, long time.
I mean, Drowsy can be competitive with Hypno, but we've already had it.
Yep. So it's not a new one.
Cubone, cool, but garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Arlo Execute, again, cool, can be usable, especially in Ultra League. But yeah, overall, not the best.
Yeah. Especially for all of this are just like Cantonian forms for any of his like Execute or even Cubone. And if we had like the Alolan forms, maybe, but there's no way to be able to evolve them to those forms. You only get it through special events or raids or anything like that. So unfortunately, we're out of luck. We don't get anything. It's cool to get the shiny, but it's not worth it at this point. Unless you wanted really a Hypno for a good shadow advantage at that point.
Yeah, I do wish that they had a new shadow Pokemon for Sierra instead of Drowsy again.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know that they like to rotate their Pokemons and do a little recruiting for some of them, but this is just bad. This is worse than the last one, the previous one, not the one with Vagon on it, but still the one before that. So I don't know. And that incentivizes me to actually get. The only reason to do them is really for the eggs right now, and that's all there is to anything with the Rocket Raiders right now. So leaders,
I agree.
you're gonna stay put this time around. I won't even be excited if I get the shiny anyways.
Yeah, we'll let you steal all the Pokemon you want this time.
Yeah. You win this one, Rocket leaders, or Dingo Rocket, I guess.
Maybe that's their goal.
Oh my god.
They'll get such boring Pokemon that we don't want to fight them anymore.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, and this is just speculation for the future, we're starting the Hoenn line on the Giovanni research for the legendary Latias, which we'll definitely be able to see Latios eventually.
Yes.
But that means, if it's possible, if it's cool, we may actually able to get some weather trio online for Shadows. Shadow Groudon, Shadow Kyogre, Shadow Rayquaza. Oh boy, don't I wish to actually see those as Shadow forms.
So, I forget, can Purified Pokemon Mega Evolve?
Yes.
Okay. Then, yeah, the people that do not already have, hundos of those Pokemon, oh my gosh, you're going to have a very good chance of getting the hundos when those finally come around.
Well, all the ones that we mentioned here, aside from the Mesprins, is it the Lake trio that is from Gen 4, Gen 3? No, Gen 3 is the Regis, right?
Gen 4 has Mesprit, Uxie, and all that.
Okay,
Gen 3, we might get the Shadow Regis, which could be interesting too.
Well, Steelix could actually be a kind of powerful now that it has a special move and Shadow form. If it gets a Shadow form,
yeah,
that actually would be terrifying to see.
Yeah, that buff to Dragon Tail. Yeah, they're going to be terrified. Any dragon is going to be terrified when he comes out now.
Yeah, so like I said, I was saying that Latios, and then the other, that's Weather Trio, they have Mega Evolutions and Primal Evolutions. So if you get a Hundo and you're getting a Shadow that's close to a Hundo and you purify them, cool. You get your Hundo, and then done, you get your Mega.
Yeah, especially if we get Apex in the future.
Damn. But yes, the Regis also seem to be very interesting when it comes down to it. So we are getting some interesting Pokemons now where the lineup is going to be insane. So get ready. this is again just a speculation for the future, but it seems that we're finally moving on from the Gen 1, Gen 2 legendary shadows, which, my goodness, it took them forever for that point. So I'm glad that they're striving for more now for that reason. So you're good, Chris? I'm good. Let's get this done.
Oh, perfect.
All right. Gunta! How's it going? Thank you very much for joining us today. This is our business. Thank you so much. Let's get into the PvP section. Get good, get right. Here we go, Chris. Ooh, ha, ooh, ha, ha. So, GVL, we are in the Catch Cup. Actually, no. Are we still in the Catch Cup?
I think it just switched over.
No, it's still the Catch Cup with the Ultra League. It's still Catch Cup with the Ultra League.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so Catch Cup. Yeah, nobody's doing this.
The only people I've seen posting about Catch Cup are people that have used shinies for it mostly.
Yeah, but I'm just like,
or they hatch Pokemon and they try to beat people with like 800 CP Pokemon. I think it's hilarious.
Well, unless you really get a good PvP Pokemon during the time of the Catch Cup, which you can only use it through the starting of the Cup event.
Yeah.
There's really no incentive to actually do this league because some Pokemons, unfortunately, are not that good when you catch it. And the pool out there right now is not the greatest either, so you gotta get lucky.
Yeah, just the fact that, it's Pokemon that most likely you're not going to be using again.
Right.
So, don't invest in it. If you catch like a 1500 Pokemon you don't feel like doing Ultra League, by all means, you do you. Yeah. Like, actually, now that I think about it, I think I caught like a 1200 CP Lickitung. That would be decent in Catch Cup. But I've just been doing Ultra League because I have Pokemon made. Why not just keep using them?
Yeah, and it's Ultra League open, so you see legendaries and everything, XL candies and everything. So, just keep an eye. Anyways, Silt Arena. Did we talk about Silt Arena? I think we did, right?
Not too much. Not too much recently.
Well, I believe they're in the last cup of their season before championships and regionals are back, but I'm not entirely sure.
I believe it. We're going to see a new Sylph World Champion this year.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't do my research on this. So I think the Nemesis Cup is out this month. So
I believe you. I didn't look either.
But that being said, of course, there's not much to cover on the PvP side, just for the reason. There is a couple of things that Pokeminers were actually finding when it came to some of the movesets of new Pokemon that are actually appearing pretty soon. And this was actually the addition of the move Drain Punch and the stats, which by means it does in PvP damage of 20 and energy of 40 with the 100% chance of reaching the defense stage of the Pokemon. So this is the exclusive move for Beware, which will have his community move and its release in the coming weeks. As for another Pokemon that was seen to have actually been a complete destroyer of the meta, and that would have been for Araquanid, Derpit, and Aquarin. Can you say the name for me?
Raquanid?
Thank you. So before the update to the Shake Pool, to his moveset, Aquarin had a Lunge and Bubble Beam as his moveset, Crunch as his moveset too. And based on the PvP Poke rankings and its moveset, he would have had destroyed the meta and completely made it its own for that reason. However, this change has just been fully changed into it, and now it gets Buzz, and Bubble Beam and Mirror Coat as its charge moves, which not bad in its own regard as a good bug type attacker, but it doesn't get any, aside from Bubble Beam, doesn't get any good water type move when it comes down to it. Still, it would have been interesting to actually say that he would have actually completely dominated the entire meta without even caring. Because Lunge, your Lunge actually lowers the attack or the defense of the Pokemon?
The attack.
The attack. plus crunch, and at that point you're just basically dead, so because you charge up pretty quickly on that regard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, between dark and water, I'm pretty sure you can, pretty much hit anything for neutral.
Yeah, yeah, lunch and crunch, that would have been an insane power for us. I don't know. We may still see it. Again, any Pokemon is only one move away from actually being viable. If a Pokemon like this was to have a community move and actually get lunch as a community Pokemon, I think that would still destroy the meta somehow. I don't know how, but it will still do in that regard. So, as it may be, Aquarium would have been a terrifying Pokemon to face in any meta, and so on and so forth in that regard. So, kudos for changing that before we actually see the nightmare of never ever playing Pokemon Go ever again PvP.
Yeah, I'd rather them change the moveset before they release it than, take it away after they give it to us. Yeah. So I am happy about this change, actually.
Definitely. And Drowsy's already here, so I guess it's time to end it because there is nothing much to say about it. Chris, anything else that you man think of mentioning today?
Not too much. All I will say is when it comes to factions, we are doing a little group chat with a lot of the other faction members that didn't make it into the championships for factions that were in the high tiers. So we're going to be battling with a few of them to try and keep a bunch of practice going forward. And I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes, but it doesn't hold the same weight as ranked play. But just something to do for fun. Mm-hmm. And we can talk about the metas. I'm going to be doing a Sunrise Cup for those of you that know the Sylph Leagues.
Mm-hmm. All right. Pretty cool. One last mention, actually, since we started the podcast, there was a little update from the Safari Zone that's happening in Seville, Spain. Of course, this happens next month on May 13th to May 15th, which unfortunately we will not be able to attend because we definitely don't have the money to travel overseas. As for that, the tickets are now live to go on sale. If you want to attend the event, we do have the regular pricing of early access of the 9-hour event for $28.54, and then the regular access of 6 hours will be for $23.05, which of course it is equal to the pricing over there in Spain. So get your tickets now, go ahead and meet the community, and go out there and go. With that being said, Chris, I believe that is everything that we have to cover for tonight. We want to thank everybody for coming into the podcast, live streams or any of the podcast feeds or anything like that. If I remember correctly, we did have our highest month of podcasting last month. So we actually broke our all-time record of 254 to 358 downloads last month. So thank you so much for everybody for listening to the podcast. We are actually just 45 away from reaching 6,000 downloads. So again, we are making waves in the community. So I'm glad that whoever listened to us, again, thank you so much for actually wanting to listen to us through everything. So with that being said, of course, we are ourselves in social media. Myself at PureLetterGo, Chris at PKMN Please. You can email us anything to the Purified Podcast at gmail.com if you want to say hi or anything. You can also try to find a way to meet us during GOFest. And you can always listen to us in podcast feeds, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, many places to great to listen to us. And if you will leave us a review, we would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to check us out at theprofessor.com/purifiedpodcast or thepurifiedpodcast.com for any information about us. Chris, I believe that is everything that we have to cover for today. So how about you take us away for the night?
All right. Looking forward to GoFest. Looking forward to finally meeting a lot of you guys in the community and, seeing a lot of other community players and community leaders. hope you guys are excited. Again, please feel free to reach out, especially if you need some Pokemon from down here in Florida. And we can, schedule something out. Hope you guys have a fantastic week. Let us know what you guys get. I know this shadow event isn't the craziest, but you guys might get something cool. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week, where hopefully there'll be a nice drop of news for you. Peace.
Keep purifying them, and we'll see you guys next time.